Okay. Okay, it's 1:30. I will call our May 8th, 2024 regular board meeting to order. All commissioners are present. If we could go around the room for an introduction, start with Randy.
Randy Warburton from Morrow.
Stuart Dick, Morrow County Citizens for Liberty and Justice. Jacob Kane for Morrow.
Mark for Morrow.
Lisa Mildor for Morrow. Diane Hendricks for Morrow. Karen Bedford, City of Corbin.
George Allen, for the park, right? General Government for Morrow.
Lori Kelly, Waterville Power Administration.
Rick Ryan, Will Power Administration.
Jason Hendricks for Morrow.
Erica Lawson for Morrow. Anna Brown for Morrow.
Mark Hughes for the park.
Rachel Reyes for Samaritan Town. Joy Griggs, Susan Association.
Okay, thank you. And if you go on to Randy.
We'll start with John Doherty, City Husband.
John Doherty, City of Hefner.
Sam Tucker. Walked away, it looks like.
Okay,
Hey there, Sam.
Hello.
Thank you. Tim Patton.
Here.
Thank you. And Christine Reynolds.
okay. We'll move on our agenda here. First on the list is public comment period. And we have one person signed up, Mike Hughes, to give public comment. So we got about 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mike Hughes for the park. I see on your agenda that you have an update on press 2 and press 3. I'm urging the court to explain why the representatives will report on press 2 continue to block the public safety funds. Given one of the directors' history with another special district, I would urge you to replace that person so we can move forward. There's some, in my opinion, some bias there, and I'd like to see this move forward, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, there's no other public comment names on the list, so we'll move on to our consent agenda. We have, oh, yes.
Do you intend to?
I signed up.
Oh,
Oh, maybe just not the public comment. Maybe you just signed in.
Oh.
Did you mean to sign this?
The public comment.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, go right ahead.
My name is Stuart Dick. I represent Morrow County Citizens for Liberty and Justice. I've come here to speak against this decision that the court in Morrow County made regarding the CDA land. We believe it was an illegal decision. That land, 2,500 acres, that land sits on Interstate 84 and Interstate 82. I've been told that's one of the best interstate exchanges in America. It has a railway line into it. It's next, we got the port. CDA Director Greg Smith is talking about selling 100 acres for $60,000. That's robbery. That property, an acre in Hermiston today is selling for about $388,000. This land is worth more. And Port of Morrow represents the citizens of Morrow, and the VOC represents the citizens of Morrow County. That land could establish industrial innovation for the next decades. Jeff Winhouse, the representative from Morrow County, there's no evidence that there was any meeting that gave him the authority to do that. We haven't seen it. We oppose that. We're asking the court to oppose that, go back to the people and make this decision correct. And we oppose CDA Director Smith selling that property. That doesn't belong to him. And it should belong to the citizens of Morrow County, Umatilla County, and the tribe courts. It's a very unwise decision. We're asking you to go back on it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that with no other names on our list, so we'll move on to our consent agenda of the April 16th meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Rick.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, Rick has moved, and John has seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any other discussion on that item?
None.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is legislative updates. Are any of those folks up there part of that, Lisa, you can see?
Ryan sent me a message saying that, Dale was going to be able to call. Yeah. And he's not.
Okay, well. I don't see anybody from.
Kirby's also
Yeah, Kirby's on
vacation.
Okay. Well,
I don't know where the phone number is, Dale. Dale, are you online? There he is. He's joining right now.
there you go, Dale. Can you hear us okay, Dale?
I can, yes. Sorry about that. For some reason, I was having some trouble logging on to the meeting, so apologies.
Okay, so, well, we're at the spot in the agenda where you're at. So if you're ready, you can go ahead and give your report.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So thank you very much for letting me attend. And Ryan is at a conference this week, so I'm pitch hitting for her. I wanted to give you kind of a little bit of an update on the legislation, or sorry, on the legislature, what's going on right now during the summer months. Primarily from a legislative standpoint, as you know, we had a short session this year, and we're in the summer months, or just about in the summer months, where it all turns to campaign work. And so there's, some work groups meeting at the legislature. We have upcoming May legislative days in a couple weeks where legislators, agency leaders, stakeholders, and others convene on the Capitol in Salem and have interim hearings on topics of note, topics that could include upcoming legislative concepts for the next session. It could touch on key issues in the press. It could touch on a wide range of topics and subjects. So those agendas usually come out a week or so before the May legislative days. And those May legislative days, by the way, are the 29th, 30th, and 31st of this month. And so none of those agendas are out yet. And so, of course, dealing with Port of Morrow issues, we're going to be monitoring water committees, general business, agriculture, all sorts of issues of importance to you, environmental concerns, and the agendas related to those topics. Ryan and I will be forwarding on committee hearings or interim hearings of note so that the port can view those, your staff can view those, and we can determine which ones we want to spend our time monitoring or participating in. There's a couple other issues I want to make sure that we touch on. On April 18th of last month, agency leaders at ODA, DEQ, OHA, met with community members to discuss the ongoing water quality challenges in the lower Umatilla Basin. The conversation was productive, and that's going to be an ongoing one going forward. Also in April, Governor Tina Kotek made another visit to the region to meet with community members. And I apologize if this has already been covered earlier in the meeting or it's going to be discussed later on. But this time she was accompanied by EPA Region 6 Director Casey Sixkiller. Kotek has been thoughtful in her approach to the basin's challenges, and we do look forward to working towards solutions with her and her team, who we've developed a pretty good relationship with over the last few months. Our team at CFM continues to have conversations with those staff in the governor's office and then the relevant agency staff as well. As one other issue regarding interim legislative work is around committee appointments. So as everyone's aware on this call, most likely Democrats, retain control over the House chamber, meaning most of the committees in the House will be chaired by a Democrat. 2 weeks ago, newly elected Speaker Julie Fahey from the Eugene Springfield area released her committee appointments, which included some notable change for the House Agriculture, Land Use, Natural Resources, and Water Committee. This is the one that we primarily watch for Port of Morrow. Representative Ken Helm retains his chair gavel, but he will be sharing it in a very interesting co-chair arrangement with Representative Mark Owens from the Crane area, Republican. So he was made co-chair, meaning he has equal power to his Democratic colleague, Representative Helm, who has been out to the port. So this is a good opportunity for the legislature to show interest in water issues. To have both a Republican and a Democrat chair in a committee like this means that anything that comes out of that committee is most likely going to have broad bipartisan support. And there is, the starting of rumors around water investments for the next session. And this is a good first step towards those kind of investments, seeing an equal power share arrangement in a committee like this start out right out the gate, which is really good. I want to stop there and see if there are any questions folks have. I do have one other final kind of news breaking announcement, but I want to stop there and see if there are any questions first.
Any
Okay.
questions from staff or commission on Dale's? Okay, well, doesn't work. If there's any questions on our side, Dale?
Okay, then the last thing I'll mention before I'll stop is that just 10 o'clock this morning, a press release went out from Governor Kotek appointing new directors for the Oregon Water Resources Department, WRD, and the Oregon Watershed Enhancement Board. So Ivan Gall, who was recently the interim deputy director of water management for Oregon Water Resource Department, is now leading that agency. Sarah O'Brien, who served as executive director of Willamette Partnership, is appointed to lead the Oregon Watershed Enhancement Board. And so these are both entities and individuals that we're going to continue to be developing relationships with, and I can forward on the press release so that your commission and your staff all have this, but wanted to make sure people knew that was just announced earlier today, just by a few hours.
Okay, yes, thank you. We like that information. Okay, anything else for Dale in this? Okay, thank you very much, Dale.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, moving on to old business, we have the CDA update. You wanna give a little bit there, Kelly? Or?
Yeah, we had a very brief meeting the other day. The agenda was pretty short. We did some housekeeping, getting some signature things done, and I think that the biggest thing that I have heard, which came after that meeting, was a press release that Umatilla County voted to pursue legal actions against the CDA for the division. Don't know what that looks like, don't know what the ramifications are going to be, but it was just a press release that was in the newspaper. But the meeting was short and
It was.
nothing really to report.
Okay. If I could add on to that, Kelly, just in my notes here. Greg Smith had asked for, bills are coming up and he was gonna ask for,
Budget.
of the budget, get that done, and then he was gonna ask that we sell 100 acres, we mean CDA somewhere, whatever that is, in order to keep operating money, so he's gonna start working on that.
Just, has anyone done it for the CDA?
He stated that it gets done every year. For the, what's the?
For the grant,
There you go.
for the grants.
Okay.
To my knowledge, there's, which know that there's a lot that goes on there that I don't know about. But to my knowledge, there's never been a budget prepared for other funds, but traditionally they've been pretty limited and now they will be more substantial.
Yes, so that's what he said, it's done every year, probably for that grant, but is it gone through the board and approved every year? Not that I.
It sounds like they're always asking for dollars outside of those grants.
Yes.
Then I would be interested in seeing a budget.
Yeah.
For those dollars, should they be generated by the sale of land or contributed by members of the CDA board or the group?
And I think that's the budget that he was asked to work on,
Yes,
Was-
yeah, he
was
was.
the outside
Yeah,
and any invoices that we were going to receive.
he also stated that the grant money starts whatever level we're at now, I don't remember that number. But he says, oh, in 3 years from the money from ODA, he stated that it's gonna, from what we got now at startup, it's gonna go to 0 within 3 years. I didn't know how accurate that statement was, but
We don't know that, and we don't have any way to know that based on the annual budget that we do here. And, their representative from OEDA does not generally speak directly to us.
that seemed.
Is that a question that you would like me to ask?
Yeah, I think we
And
need to
get
clarify,
some
see
clarification
how
on
that really ratchets down. I mean, I've heard Lisa say it a number of times over the years, but who really knows what that is until you really, now that we're in it.
I mean, to be honest, we thought that we would have been wound down already. Because we thought that that was a 7-year wind down of the dollar.
Yeah.
You know, it's helping to keep it going, getting the transfer done, getting, the roof, you know. Keeping them afloat. for a
Yeah,
while, But we have heard the update.
Yeah, so that's probably something we need to clarify on there. And then just, I talked, after that meeting, I talked with Lisa, let her know how it goes, but. You know, with this transfer that we got in motion now, I think the port needs to be very proactive in running that, not waiting for the CEA to. You know, come up with the guidelines and how this is gonna happen, so we might be waiting a while.
But what can you legally do?
Well, that's the kind of questions I think we need to take the initiative on.
Okay.
I mean, there was some. What was the
I
attorney?
can let you know what I've done.
The attorney gal for the CDM,
Right,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
So
She gave a-
CDA had in that packet, in that meeting, they had a draft
Yeah,
of what that document looks like with, blank spaces to populate in there. Which basically has property descriptions and which property goes to which agency. I talked to Jacob a little bit about legal descriptions and we know that Ferguson Engineering did that work for the CDA. So I think we'll reach out to Ferguson Engineering and then Jacob will be working on legal descriptions for the pieces on the Morrow County side. That's our plan.
yeah. Okay, that was kind of it for that meeting, it's pretty quick and.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes here in the future. Any other questions on?
and I don't know if they ever scheduled one, it was kind of left in the open. When our next meeting was, I don't think it was ever scheduled.
I think something popped on my phone and.
Oh,
But I asked for a steady commitment to days,
yeah,
like we do here, and everybody seemed to agree to that, so. I thought it was like the third Thursday or something. So,
could be, haven't done anything yet.
yeah. I probably haven't, things that show up, date wise, show up.
I did ask Becky for a copy of the document from the federal government to the CDA that has the property descriptions in that as well, so. I'll get that.
Okay, that's about all I had on there. Any other questions? Question, okay, thank you. Okay, next is the Whippy update.
Who wants to start?
I'll start. We had a meeting to discuss, okay, they proposed the term sheet. We sent alternatives. And we haven't seen their response back. He just kind of ran down the list, but what he was saying sounded good. So we are hopeful.
And we just had that meeting yesterday.
Okay,
So we were expecting to revise the term sheet by the end of the week. I thought it was on about it.
Right, so we have a regular meeting scheduled with Lydia and with our consultants, with Lydia and our consultants. Follow-up meeting with our consultants, when we got the word, I think we told you this last month, that we got the word that they were sending the term sheet out to calmly read it and then propose a counter, and that's what we did. And after
We weren't here, but calm here.
No, it was a lot to take in. We just pushed back with what we thought was the decisions made. And yesterday verbally, they went through that list with us and they made concessions to most of them based on our request. So we thought that was way more than we thought. We will be going, Mark and I, David Olberg, are going to meet with them next Wednesday. And get another face to face with them, so we'll see what they say, and hopefully we'll have their response to it from yesterday in writing. Soon.
Hopefully before your trip, so you'll be able to formulate a plan.
Yeah.
How does it fit with the formula, the steps that are going, the timeline that it's taking, is it?
Still, actually, we're ahead of schedule because they gave us 5 weeks to come back with the counter proposal, and we took 5 days actually.
Not being that all that.
It's good. Great, thank you.
Environmental's done. Like that document with the SHPO, we'll have comments back from SHPO by the end of the month. So we're kind of ahead of the game there.
We also just stated again that if they can't do it administratively, we'll call a special meeting, it will be the IFA board's special or regular meeting, which is June 7th, so June 7th.
and SHPO is a normal thing.
Yeah, it's got to go through the environment SHPO there. We don't really expect any comments back, they never found it.
Okay.
I think they found a little beer can from the 50s and they dug a bunch of holes around it, they didn't find any more.
Isolated that, that's good.
So, yeah, there was nothing out that any of the sites that they were concerned about. All right.
Okay,
All right, thanks. Appreciate your efforts.
it's all looking good.
It's looking good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's taking a lot of time. It's-
Yeah, maybe send out an update after your trip. Curious to see,
Yeah.
please.
We'll do that.
Okay, next is CREZ 2 and CREZ 3 update. And I wasn't at those meetings, if anybody else wants to.
Yeah, I will, just had some questions. Did you develop a plan to hire somebody or did that get discussed?
Yes.
It wasn't discussed at this last.
Not in
No.
this meeting though,
This last meeting.
Okay,
but there are plans in the works.
okay,
Commissioner Sykes is acting as our,
right.
still,
We never should have taken that.
now really, he's here to defend himself. He's doing a great job.
And he's here now, I mean, we did suggest that that position move to the new assistant administrator. But I don't know if you have, if you want to talk about what.
Sure, well, I talked to, the county administrator about this, of course, because that was a discussion. He's supposed to come on board on the 15th of May. And then we're gonna talk about how we want to interact with the CREZ, you know, how exactly, maybe figure out how you guys, you know, talk to them, interview them, because we gotta figure out what the process is, because he'll be an employee of the county, and so we wanna talk all these things over, introduce him to you and all that, so we're going to be getting together with some of you and them. Decide how we wanna do that, how do you wanna meet this person, how we wanna start that discussion. Having this person in that position, so that's kind of our thought, just get them off.
And Dave, you had suggested another staff member might be taking that role on.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he's able to, the workload, well, I've been doing it, and in the last 2 weeks, I've spent almost 5 days solid on this. You know, I mean, there's a lot of follow-up work, there's a lot of, for Greg, I think we're getting a pretty good deal with Greg. Yeah, he's disconnected his phone, I know. No, there's quite a bit of work. And so I'm not so sure the other staff member is able to do that, carry the load. You know, there's a lot to it, so I think it's gonna come back to my thought, I think it's gonna come back to, you know, this new person. So.
And we did we not leave the application open on the site? Have we gotten anything?
It's still on our website, correct?
Yes. We haven't received anything? No.
Then I got a question about the Lexington, is that part of the meeting too, the request? The Lexington property, Crest Street? I just have a question on how it's going to work, so that Lexington will be on the Crest Street board for that property, or?
No.
No?
Well, yeah.
Yes, but it's,
There'll be.
but it won't be any.
So later in our agenda,
That way you're talking about that?
we
Okay.
do got resolutions and IPAs for city of Lexington and city of Beaverton.
Okay.
So yes, Lexington would be involved in that decision making for any projects within their area of influence.
Mhm.
Right now, the host application is a 3-year, so it's an automatic approval. If it went to requesting a 4th and 5th year there, that would be a board decision.
Okay. But it'll be a separate meeting, I'm just wondering about the logistics, there'll be a separate meeting for Crest Street for any issues or
I think any
that
comments
Lexington
that fall that section.
participates in, okay.
It happens now, Chris 2 and Chris 3. meetings.
Sorry, another.
Yeah, it's Chris 3 divided. Right, first time ever.
Yeah.
So you had talked about the resolution, I spoke with Commissioner Sykes yesterday, and he had some more information on that resolution and how that really works for that Lexington edition. Dave, could you speak of that?
Well, yeah, and you know, we talked at our meeting, when we had our press meeting, I didn't have a few of the details because our fish hadn't yet gotten back to me from Business Oregon. So I hadn't been able to connect with them because there was a few things about how we were, and this really comes under the boundary expansion. I don't know if you want to wait till then or talk about it now.
We can.
I don't care.
It's up to you.
Yeah. We can do it now.
Yeah.
Might as well keep it all together.
Yeah, we're fine to do it now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll just start from the beginning. The Crest 3 had requested a boundary extension to accommodate the new hotels in Morrow. So that, Greg was just on his way out the door, but that wasn't completed, so he told me how to do the last few things that need to be done. So I did those, I sent them into Business Oregon. Art Fish got back to me, so we need a couple more things, took care of those things. Then, an application came in from Lexington, from, the machine shop down there, or not the machine shop, but the, repair things. And, they were asking for, they're building a shop on the, business on the other side of the highway. So they asked for this, like Lisa said, the standard 3-year reduction. So he filled out all the forms, put in his deposit. And those don't need to come before Crest. So Mike and I, it's just a place there for the manager and the assessor to sign off. We signed off on it. Well, in order for him to take advantage of that, he needs to be in the Crest. There's no, within the Crest boundary. So I called, Art back and said, okay, this is what we got going. He said, well, the easiest way would be to include it with your current request, which is this one. So we haven't acted on that, still sitting. I said, okay. So I went back and then I got to looking at the map there. And the one, Bailey's property is a little, it's a small sliver on the highway. And then when he got that zone, I remember that, the piece right above it, Jeff Cuthbert zoned his rural industrial too. So there's two rezoned properties that are zoned for development. So I thought, well, we're doing this little piece, maybe we ought to do the other little piece, just, make it red, Kind of like this property around here. That doesn't have any development on it, it's in the zone, it just makes sense to me. And so I brought that. And then, so that's what I called that person, I said, this is what we want to do, I thought it was a great idea, so that's why I wanted to rezone the property. Well, we'll give Lexington a little bit of, if they got some business they want to promote or try, just like we do around here. It'll be teed up and ready to go. So what I did next is send it, Art said, this is a little different, we haven't done one quite like this before, so you can do a supplemental. So that was what I didn't know at the time of our last president, would we have to redo the resolutions? And that you passed, and the county passed, and board passed about this refresh. And he said, no, just do one for the new piece, follow it supplemental. So I wrote all the paperwork, I called the city of Lexington, I'm on the agenda for the 14th. And I kind of prepped them for what we had in mind, because, reading the IGA, they have an IGA, I see that's on there too, IGA with the city of Lexington. They do have an idea what that region is, they're pretty much the same, all the cities are pretty much the same. So it's outside the city limits, it's part of the Bailey and Cuthbert thing. It's outside, but it is in the urban growth boundary and the area of influence, if you've ever, So I thought, you stay, just go ahead and get the resolution, and supervise, not town. So I sent them, I wrote an idea or resolution, I sent it to them, so that's on the agenda. If they approve it. What I see, they're at the table, but they're at the table now if there's a negotiation for a long term. Short term, I'd say it's signed off with the manager, yeah, okay, so we were able to do that. But I'm not sure about expanding the boundary. I told Art, he thought it was in the city limits. I said, no. He said, well, I don't think you need a resolution. When I looked at it, I think the IGA says you do, since it's in the area of influence, just be safe, do the resolution. Yeah, town of Lexington should sign it. I think they will, also not. So we'll have that all wrapped up. Hopefully get the whole thing together. We notify all the property, all the tax districts around there, they have to be notified within 3 weeks. So right now, that's kind of where it sits. So you don't have to do your resolution before city at this time. And Art, pretty much, he knows the law, so he said, no, don't have to, just turn it into a working city, so, but that works, so. I think we're all set up to do it. It seems like it's kind of nice to get one from the south end, but so that's kind of where we're at. So you don't get any questions on.
So just to clarify, we do not need this resolution. That's in front of us today, yeah, we did this.
You don't need a resolution.
The Crest 3. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
It's not, it got the top dog,
Yeah,
so you don't need a new one.
We need a supplemental one, or, no, you can add,
No, he said just do it, just get a supplemental approved by the town of Lexington. Leave all the rest of it alone, it'll be fine, send it in. And we'll get the thing approved. It has to be 25 miles as a crow flies from the edge of the zone. That you can get it get that extended if you write up a good, well, instead of good reason. So I wrote up a reason, I think it's, you know, we're rural, we don't have lots of business, you know, so. So that, I'll send it in with the application to move it, all that's it down there. So we go back to go by mile. As a pro, by rules, or other. Yeah, it's not.
Extension.
But he said this is easier than closing out yours and approving, or not yours, the ordinance. Closing out that one and starting it over. He said this would be much better. He wanted to do it that way. He kept kind of guiding me that way. This, he said, you can do anything you want. This I think would be the best. So that's why I went.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I would recommend you go ahead and approve this resolution, that definitely says that you agree to expansion of the boundary to Lexington. It's not gonna hurt if we approve it. That way, if you find in the next month that you need it, we've already got it done.
Yeah.
That sounds like.
Yeah, I don't want to negate all your work you did, but, it's
Oh,
here.
no, I
Different.
mean, so, no, that's what said, the meeting goes, well, you know, the board, I'm going to put the county. General, they won't negate it, we'll just go back to the county and the city of Morrow too. And so that they're all the same.
Well, the city board wouldn't have to say in that one. like we-
Yeah, well, no, but they have a say in the total boundary. Because part of the boundary that you're, see, we're adding it to the one that the city board.
Well, we kind of worked
So,
with,
That's what I did that.
Yeah.
Pretty.
right,
Yeah.
that's been done, Dave. As far as Lexington goes, the additional enterprise zone area in Lexington, it would just be the county and port.
Well, that's something, John, that I would see, the city of, Greg told me when he went out the door, I said, well, what about a resolution from the city of Morrow? Because, you know,
Right.
and he goes, no, because the port and the county are the founding members, and they're the only ones that have, they need to approve a boundary extension.
Mhm.
So I said to Art, and he said, no, since it goes into the city, they need to approve the resolution. Well, this is the same boundary extension now, John, it's not a new one. If it was a new one, no, city board would definitely not be. But this is the same boundary extension that you're getting into the city board. So to me, it's a gray area,
See,
Yeah.
because you're combining the two, you're.
Right.
well, it's all one,
Yes.
it's not, yeah, it's a total boundary extension. Including Lexington, including Morgan. And I thought the same thing, right, but then I thought about it, that, well, no, this is all one action. So,
Thanks for your work on it. It's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of wheels for a simple boundary expansion, or seeming simple at the time.
well, you know, it would be, and it's not difficult, it's just, the timing. Because this one came in, at the last minute, when, Business Oregon had that one sitting on the table. And they hadn't approved it yet, and then when, Art says this is the easiest way to go. Then I definitely listen to his advice.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So anything else on Chris?
Well, from what I understand, Progress Two came to a dilemma or to a ground. Or there's still somebody left in Progress Two that's not dispersed. Are you gonna meet again?
The history of the motions at Pres 2, there was two motions made. One motion, which I suspect Chief Hughes is referring to, is the motion that I made to fund $200,000 to Boardman Fire, Boardman Police, and Morrow County Health District, and $50,000 each to the other fire districts in the county and Sheriff Department and Boardman and the Vector Control District. And the reasons I gave for like the Vector District, well, the Vector District, I think needs to move their facilities, that's what I've been told. It would help them to save some money to do that. Oregon Fire doesn't have enough money to hire a full-time chief. It would be nice if they got some assistance to do that. I didn't say this, but I would add it now. How many millions of dollars of equipment we have at the airport right now? The Port of Morrow Airport. And, it's patrolled by the sheriff's department, is that right? It's not board of fire. Yeah. So they're affected by roof, I would say. Due to the building that's going on specifically. So the motion was made and let's see, I don't remember the vote. I guess the vote was taken,
City
city voted
denied
down.
those, and so there was
There was no reason to
other-
ask other people, so the court didn't weigh in on that, which I would have supported because we made the motion, Kelly seconded. And the county didn't vote on that. So then the next motion that came up was $300,000 to only Boardman Fire and Boardman Police. And there wasn't much discussion on it.
the health district. So there was
300,000, no,
$300,000.
three, yeah, the same,
Yeah, it was the
same motion
same.
that you made the meeting before.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
I need to see the minutes because,
Your first motion was more than 600, or more than.
It's 900, it was 900.
900,000, so
it's even, yeah. But the next motion, I'm almost absolutely positive, and if I didn't hear it right, I voted on information that I didn't know, I guess. But I only heard, and actually, Dave, you made the motion. What was your motion?
No, it
No.
was
To,
Well, the mayor made.
the mayor.
I was under the impression, see, the previous meeting that we decided that 300,000 would go to the fire and to the police. We were trying to get things off the table, get this off the table, get this off the table, that's what we got it out.
Right.
So this meeting, I thought, well, I thought we were under agreement that if the fire and the city police were okay with 300,000. So I thought, well, we'll get that off the table and then just deal with the health district is 300,000. And that seemed to be the only contention. I didn't see it was. So I made that motion and it failed. Because there was no yes vote before.
That was the prior meeting.
No, that was this meeting.
It
This meeting, yeah.
was just 600,000.
Right.
The motion was 300 and 300 and nothing else. Just get those two.
that would have,
Right.
oh, that would have left 300,000 to disperse.
Correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then the mayor made a motion,
There was a third.
300,000 to each entity, which was your original motion at the meeting before, and what wasn't.
Oh, boy, I don't remember that.
There was a third motion by the mayor for 3, 3, and 3. I believe.
There was.
I guess I question that,
Well,
because I would have voted yes. But I didn't hear that motion. I guess, yeah. I
that's,
would need
that,
to hear
that was, that was my question, because that was your original motion. I was kind of
Exactly.
surprised it didn't pass, because that was your motion.
Yeah, I would vote for that. I did not, did you hear that, Kelly?
I
300,000 each?
think I did, yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that then.
I,
But did it come to a vote? Do we have 3 votes?
And no, it failed for lack of second. Correct.
Oh,
So that's why it never came to.
I think there
I guess
was a
I
second, but I
see that.
I think you guys voted no.
No, it failed
No,
for lack of
no, there
second.
was no second. I don't
So the
think.
county.
See,
didn't-
that's what, Rick, I don't remember this like this at all. That's why I'm surprised that we're having this difference of opinion right here.
So, Mr. Brandon, not to put you on the spot when you were there.
I did believe it failed because of lack of second vote.
But the motion was
It was me.
the 300,000 to all three entities.
Yeah, Mayor Keeper said, hey, I'll just throw this out, 300,000 each.
Wow.
And then it died.
So,
So that might be something we can look at again.
yeah, absolutely. I apologize. That was not in the intent at all on my part.
So I, just my initial thoughts, the sooner, we're sitting on $900,000.
Yeah.
That does nobody any good to sit on money. This is public safety, so, if nothing against our development organizations, Tory and Lone Creek and every, but to me, the public safety should be a higher priority than housing. Or sidewalks or whatever it is that's funding. So we need to really get this money where it needs to be to help take care of people, save lives, give equipment to first responders, whatever it is they need that money for. I, as a port commissioner, struggle sitting on money that we shouldn't be sitting.
I guess I would counter a little bit, Rick, that from the previous year, the credit board, which I wasn't a part of, then sat on $1 million for a year. And just this year, we decided to spend last year's money. So I understand your concern. I think I would support the public safety. I apologize that I did not hear that motion or that way. I'm surprised it didn't have another second. It died for lack of a second, though, honestly.
So I guess my question would be is if we convene another meeting, where are we at? If that is 300, 300, 300, is that going to be the stance of the park commission? No. I think we can.
I will say, I'm gonna take responsibility for the $1 million being held over the previous year.
No, I mean,
But we've had already allocated money out to each of our categories. And I just said, hang on to $1 million, we might want to meet again in 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. And we might be farther down the road on the public water system, which was, I was promoting that at that point, so. That's why we held that $1 million. So
well, it was a unanimous decision for the school board at the time.
this time we are not doing it in our public safety.
Scheduling.
Yeah, sounds like it's worth getting maybe meeting, work, so take a look at it.
Well, Crest 3 is gonna have meetings, so it'll just be, I can do put right in there with it, so, yeah.
December 30th. That on the
Chris,
30th?
Bree's gonna have a meeting.
Well, I would have, oh, well, I assumed it with all the stuff going on, but maybe we'll have to get this.
Schedule.
So I
Either the chairman of Press 302 has contacted me about the meeting.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I thought it was concerning all that
That
other
was
stuff, but
April.
we didn't need to, that's fine.
I would recommend the sooner we can address this because I think some projects that might potentially be funded with those funds are kind of sitting there and waiting to see if the funding is going to come forward. So
So really, Dave's the co-chair, or the interim chair, or not chair, but interim manager. So you can call a meeting for Crest, just for Crest too, to look at these disbursements. That's what I think our board is asking right now. Just Crest too.
And usurp the chairman's authority.
Well, I don't know that wouldn't be usurping. Can't the enterprise zone manager call a meeting?
well, typically it's the chair with the recommendation of the manager.
Okay.
Oh, I can sure ask him, but I
Yeah.
can sit here as the vice chair of the Press 2 and say, I'm gonna help.
Okay, yeah, I don't wanna overstep any bounds. I might have misunderstood.
Who's there to?
Paul Keeper.
Paul.
So could you contact Paul Keeper and see about scheduling
Yeah,
the meeting?
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
not
just give me a date range and I can do the doable again if you want, or just. Want to have a combination meeting or is it just goes to?
I don't know if there's anything for Crest 3 to do right this minute.
You know, not at this point, no, something else comes up on
Yeah.
that boundary extension.
Yeah,
Okay, I call him
okay, if you could and do the doodles, we'll see what his schedule is and.
as soon as we can, just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on, where we at here, Crest 2, Crest 3, I think. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Community projects, is there anything new that,
Working in IO, we're back over there working now.
Yeah.
They're pretty back over there and I know we're working on plans for the incubator building here again. And I've asked everybody not to volunteer as great this summer.
He did, and we said.
Good luck.
It depends.
Well, you either fell or go far side, it will be.
I know. We did get a request for a project. And, Pearl Foley called, left me a message, she talked to Jacob. Looking for some engineering services for additional parking lot for the irrigation. Or
There's stuff like that that we can work on, I just don't want to pull the crews.
we heard you.
squeeze it into all your other stuff.
It's, I guess yet to be determined what the scope looks like. They've got the design complete. They're just running up against, they need to get a 1200C permit, so they've got to get plans submitted for the 1200C permit, so. The erosion control plan, so it's a few days of work as long as everything goes well. We also gave them contact information for other engineering firms in the area that could do the project as well, so we'll just see how that turns out.
Okay. Any other community projects? I can't think of much. Okay, executive session policy review. That is next. So, reading through that, I didn't really have any questions myself. Where did I put that?
I thought it was good.
Sam is still on the line up there. Sam, you redid this or you did this for us, is that correct? Do you have any certain comments on it? Any other, something that we might be need attention to?
You question for me?
Yes. We're on this executive
Yeah,
session policy.
executive session, I looked at all the alternatives and I really felt that this was the best. I modified it some and I thought it was the best workable solution at this time. And if you have any specific questions, I can address them, but I think it was an improvement over the other one that was adopted by another entity in Morrow County. And this one, I modified it some to meet our needs, and I just think it's the best, most practical way we can approach that issue.
So is this where are we reviewing this? Are we making a motion to approve? What are we thinking? Are we to a point where we're ready?
Either way.
Do we need to wait for our meeting?
I mean, that's up to you. We've had it in there for 2 meetings, so I mean, it was on there last meeting. If you have no questions and want to adopt. we can
Yeah.
do that.
I like the wording of this and,
Unless you want me to make any recommendations.
I do have a question for Sam. I guess, do you hear anything from Salem as some of these executive session things are gonna get changed in the next year or so from the legislature?
I have not. They reworked it a little bit in the last executive session, and no rumors that I know that they're considering to change them again. So these should meet the newest qualifications or requirements.
Okay. I'm good then.
I just have one question.
Okay.
Where it says application to boards and commissions, these policies and procedures shall apply to the court and all of its boards and commissions. Can you explain that a little bit better? Sam?
Well, there's a definition of when the port meets, and we cannot make a subcommittee out and avoid the rules. And so when we have other committees that the port is establishing that we have to comply with the same rules. Public entities can't avoid the requirement that we hold public meetings by creating a separate committee that runs around it. And in fact, to our surprise, we were even taken to task for meeting CDA meeting when just the lawyers met, because the new serial meeting concern was that. So when we create a committee, or when we create an organization that's made up of the port, we have to comply with the public rules laws.
So does that mean that they would be adopted by the CBA and the CREZ and all of those, or?
I can't
If they
imagine.
sit on ours?
We don't
It can.
control the CDA. They should have their own. So we don't extend it beyond where we are a part of it. You guys have met with occasionally with the cities, or the city and the county, and those rules would govern that situation for the port.
Okay, so could you read that again, tell you what your question was about?
Number 5, application to boards and commissions. These policies and procedures shall apply to the port and all of its boards and commissions.
I would take it to be at the budget committee to make out an executive session, which we don't. But if we were, we would need to follow this policy because it's a committee of the board.
I think the
But
word
not
used, I think the word used was commissions, and I don't have it right in front of me, but that should probably say committees and not commissions.
And how about boards? That's the one that maybe makes me most nervous.
Well, maybe, again, it's a very good point. Maybe that should be modified to say just the port and its committees. Because we don't have any other boards. And we don't create other commissions, so I suggest a good catch. I suggest we would modify those terms.
The only things we do have, Sam, are when we appoint 2 people to the broadband committee, or we appoint people to the enterprise zone committee, or enterprise zone board. So those boards would be held accountable to the court's resolution.
Okay, that was my biggest question.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it wouldn't if we changed it to committees, for sure. But if it was left boards and commissions, I don't know.
I know.
The board members, the board commission members would be bound by this rule, even if they were on CBA. So changing it to committees seems to fix it.
And taking out the words.
Yeah, I would still think we have any other boards.
yeah, I can't think of it.
And the budget committees never have an executive session.
So, would everybody, well, I'll just make a motion, because all of
Okay. Yeah.
I would move to approve, Port of Morrow executive session news media attendance policy presented today. With the change that we modify wording in number 5, application to boards and commissions to read application to Port of Morrow and its commissions. These policies and procedures shall apply to the port and all of its communities.
I'll say that. Okay. John moved and Rick seconded to approve our executive session policy. Any discussion on this? Okay, with that change, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, hearing none, motion carries unanimous. Thank you. All right, thank you, Sam. Okay, on to letter F, Heather Industrial Park land donation.
This is just to keep this on our agenda, as you know, we've been talking to Morrow County. About the possibility of courthouse location at the old mill site. We've had 2 meetings with them this week so far. About that, looking at locations, talking about environmental review on the property. Jacob found a bunch of documents this morning that we will be looking through and sharing with the county. You looked through, them? Okay,
It's not what we need.
okay,
We do not have to sign it.
okay, we didn't get it signed.
Well, that's what we need to get from the kid. Because we don't have the monitor wells up there now. So there's a sign off and something, we just don't know where.
You might have to back that, because I don't exactly know what you're talking. Or don't recall.
There's the cleanup environmental work that's done at the site. So back in late 2006, there was some environmental septic done, there was some work that needed to be done.
And that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but just so I'm thinking, that was the open something from DEQ. Is that right? If I remember that far back, they called it an open file. They had on.
It wasn't on the file because it didn't get close.
It's,
But we had to monitor all these wells.
We had to
We put a bunch
monitor all
of money into
these
it,
wells.
Still didn't
We did
change.
a bunch of cleanup and ultimately at the end, they did give us a sign.
yeah, there was a letter that said it had to do this, this, and this. Those things were done and completed as far as we could tell. But then we never did get the actual official letter from DEQ that all the work was done. But somehow we got permission from DEQ not to monitor wells. We haven't been monitoring as well since 2009.
2011 was the last mention in the minutes, and they were still talking about results then, July 2011.
Well, monitoring results.
Mhm.
And that was, we're going back.
Well, yeah.
So we hired a consultant that DQ wanted us to hire to read the results and interpret it for DQ, and then we did that. They gave the results to DQ, and DQ said, nah, I don't think those are realistic or they didn't believe. That's the what, and that's about the last I heard of that. Yeah.
And this pertains to getting the, whatever permit it is,
It pertains to getting 1200C and also pertains to the
courthouse.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So what does that include? What is that in, what's more testing,
It would
Going
be
back
nice to
and
have the
doing
final
this.
report from them, especially on the 1200C for the flood mitigation. Otherwise, we have to do this test.
what are those tests?
It's a bunch of more monitoring, it's a bunch of breathing, that's all. I don't know, it's what DEQ would make us do, I don't know. Hopefully they have.
I think we're getting way ahead of
Yeah, we-
ourselves.
Yeah.
All we really want to talk about is locations of potential sites at the courthouse, for the courthouse, at the mill site. And if they can go do some testing, if the testing needs to be done, but we've got some files that we need to go back and look at. I don't think we need to drag this out in a meeting.
Dave, does that,
Did you mention that we have 2 public meetings on these sites? We have scheduled.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Okay. Next Wednesday, the county is gonna hold 2 public meetings. We have the design group do a deep dive into 3 sites. One of them is the east end of the mill down there. One of them is the current, well, what we currently have on the fairgrounds. And the third one is the property that the county owns out here that didn't measure up for the transit facility, which we own. So those are the 3. They did a spreadsheet on the cost, an estimated cost. There's a lot of unknowns out at the fair, at the north side. Anyway, we got public meeting scheduled for, I think it's 1 o'clock in Irvine. I know it's in Irvine on Wednesday afternoon after a regular meeting. And then we have one scheduled in Hefner next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, 6 to 9. And they're gonna roll out, we're gonna roll out everything, all the due diligence that the design group has done on all 3 sites. Including the one at the mill. So that might be a good one if you want to see what we got. Cost estimates that they know of. There's some of them that we heard a report from the last meeting, and there's some costs that they don't know until they drill down. That's why I remember you guys did this, the test, and I mentioned that to the administrator, and I said, could you check with Ford, because they might save us some environmental, discovery. With that.
Have you had any numbers on what it might take for wells or just infrastructure?
No, I have.
Yeah, if the board hasn't. Okay.
and Rick, go ahead.
So I just had a couple things. On the donation, we keep saying for the courthouse. I don't know that we should lock ourselves in for just the courthouse, because not that I have any control over what the county does, but what would be so wrong with putting the fairgrounds out of the. Go ahead.
Let me go on with the rest of the conversations. Last night at 5:30, I had a meeting with the Fair Board and Matt Jensen. And I know Matt's going to bring this up at their next meeting. But we talked about the possibility of what it would take to relocate the fairgrounds and let that fairgrounds expand into a bigger, nicer facility. They can't, they've got a $1.2 million grant right now to make expansions on the existing site that they have to keep within the confines of footprint of their facilities. So it is something that the fair board is intrigued about. And I think they're going to reach out to Hermiston and talk to them about what it meant to move their fairgrounds there and, you know, the heartburn while they were doing it before, during and now that they've been in that facility for several years, what it's meant to their community. So it's a possibility. That's not what I'm asking you for today. But definitely, I think it could be a great project for the community. And, it's a good site. There could be, the reason for the discussion obviously is utilities. We're talking about water and sewer expansions going from the city of Hefner out to that site. And whether there is, utilities that are just for one building, or if that's big enough to serve a greater good here, so.
Okay, so to follow up with that, so I just want to clarify that the Port Commission has never said we are going to put infrastructure in for those facilities.
No, that's why, that's why I'm out at the county saying, hey, if there are utilities that can go to the courthouse site, that could be sized big enough to do more than just the courthouse, and that would benefit all of us.
Mr. Chair, can I talk a little bit more? We've had a discussion, I think we might be reaching out to have another meeting with more people involved here, but the thing about it is that the courthouse, I mean, it'd be nice to figure it in the whole use, you know, if it is possible, the plan that she laid out, and the courthouse, and the utilities to it could play into that, you know, long-range plan. But the problem with the county is we're on the clock with this courthouse here. I mean, it costs us, they told us in our last meeting, it costs us $300,000 every 3 months we delay this project. We don't know, there's unknowns at the site that we would have to, we have to find out, factor in and get, so we're on the clock. So it's hard to do long-range planning and talk. It's not hard, I mean, it's something you gotta consider, you know. If we gotta make a decision right away on the courthouse, like there's a possibility that what we do are could play into the wider use. Like of the mill site, we better put the pedal to the metal, so I say, you know,
Okay.
and get it started, get this thing, and get some ideas going.
Well, our staff is there for you to use.
Yes, yeah. So and there's more, I think the county commission identified the site on the south side as a preference, but there's a couple sites on the north side that probably will work really well. And
They're not in the matrix at this time. There's 3 of them in the matrix. You know, and those are the ones that are gonna be rolled out to the public. You know, we want, you know, the public's gonna be involved with this. They, you know, we got blowback on the fairground site. Which we have done, you know, we've gotten that site as part of from the city, as part of their recommended sites. A lot of sites in Hefner to choose from. So we're gonna roll these 3 sites out to the public, and they're gonna, I told them at the last meeting, I said, if there's unknown costs, I said, put it down as an unknown. We need to give the public all the information we have, as much as we can. We don't know what it would cost to develop it, the mill site at this point. We won't know, so we all know. But you guys got some. You can give us something to us, or design teams, okay, put it up, like a write-off from the DEQ.
Yeah,
Okay.
no matter what, you're still gonna have to do some test holes. Because what was cleaned up, what was required to be cleaned up, and what could be when you start investigating. We don't know what's there.
Yeah.
I mean, they took care of all the visual stuff, and I know they did a bunch of digging. You don't know where that courthouse goes. Some people might be more than me.
Okay.
I don't know. I heard the state might chip in on utilities, but Yeah, you know, and I don't know if you talked to our administrator or the design team about what we know about that site, but.
I talked to him about all the findings last time. Okay, she's not enough to give any reassurance.
And I had a conversation with the administrator and the design team.
I thought you did, I just want to make sure we know everything, that, you know, because there's a possibility the commission might make a decision this next Wednesday on the site and go.
So out of that meeting, Dave, that's when we talked about moving that site on the north side just a little bit, one way or another, from the site that you selected and the design. Yeah, I don't know if it would matter, but the design team that said if they got a really good layout for a courthouse that could be a multi-level. And you could enter on the second level and make that a, you know, like a daylight basement effect with the.
At this point, it's not in the spreadsheet on what the cost would be. It's not, in fact, it's not being told to the public. The commission's not gonna have that information, but they might possibly make a decision there again. Tick is money, you know, and so that's all I can say, you know, is you can talk about, you know, other sites, you know, and modifications to other sites. But at some point, you know, you have to go, and like I said, time is money. And it's cost, every time you extend it or look at another site, it costs the design team to look at it again and do an analysis. And it costs the construction, up the construction costs.
Okay, I think we better move on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, okay, ordinance 2024-02, the commission comments. I talked to Lisa about this. I made some comments just when I read through it. When do we need to have this ordinance really kind of gone through?
We would like to have it in 90 days, right? It'd be nice if we could do it in August,
July,
like have it early.
and July was mentioned at the last meeting, so I would think we've had plenty of time to look
Yeah,
by then.
so, I mean, comments wise, you want us to submit some comments to you or
Yeah.
when we look through it?
Yes.
Not a committee type of thing.
We're supposed to have comments back from the industry, should we?
Okay,
I was wondering about, yeah, everything is just good. Okay.
well then it'll probably, if I ask a question, I'm sure the industry. question it.
Oh, there's,
Yeah,
it's there.
yeah.
Yeah, well, yes. Right, it's good, I mean, it follows our need.
So you just wanted to talk to you on that, Lisa? Yeah, any questions, Commissioner? Okay, so commission, you know, whatever comment you have, you can direct it to that.
Okay.
Usually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like to look at the start of it, though.
going on letter H, any other old business we need to cover that we haven't yet? Okay, I don't see any. Moving on to new business. Resolution 2024-02 BPA 024 bonds.
2024.
Excuse me, you're right, 2024-04. Series bonds. So we have some folks from BPA here. If anybody had any questions that they had, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, so I'm Jared Heim with Bonneville, I have the lease purchase program, which is under one domain.
And then Morrow told you leave for program manager.
Okay. So we're out here, if you have any questions for us, we also got legal counsel on here. We're going, we have our last bond, and first off, I want to say we appreciate the support and partnering that you guys with us in the lease purchase program, you know, that allows us to know that for alternative financing. So I know this is the last of the series that we have here, but who knows what happens in the future. We are going to New York next week
Next month.
next month at the beginning of June for pricing, and we'll get back to you on that. I'll read it with these signatures, but bond pricing will be on June 6th. And you want to do specifics for the bonds?
This is the first time that we've done green bond certification for one of our lease purchase bonds. And we are very interested to see what the outcome is going to be for the certification. While it may not, make much of a difference versus what we've seen with other bonds in our domestic market, it may provide us with more interest in the international market, considering that there is, a demand for including that green bond and green, options in bond portfolios. So this is, I believe, around $81 million. It's on the small side for a bond that was done with the Port of Morrow before. But we are looking forward to finishing up this transaction. And again, really thanking for the partnership that we've had over the years working through this program.
Yeah, it is on the smaller side.
It is.
Anything else, Eileen, we might need to know? Sam, do you have any comments on this?
No, it's the same format that we've used before. And when it comes to really any technical questions, Christine is our go-to person, Christine.
Thanks, Sam. And yes, commissioners would echo that this legal structure, the resolution and the obligations, limited as they are for the port, are consistent with all the prior structures from past precedent.
Yeah. Any other questions for the EPA folks? Okay,
Need a motion?
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-04 PPA series 2024 bond.
I will say.
Okay, Rick has moved, John has seconded to approve resolution 2024-04. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carries unanimous. Good. There you go.
Thank
Okay,
you.
We're on board, again.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on here, resolution 2024-05, Fred's 3 boundary. I think we covered most of that, didn't we?
We did, we're going to approve it even though. we
Yeah.
don't need to.
I think it'd be worth the trouble to do it down here. And I'm glad that, since I wasn't at the meeting, the Commissioner Sykes explained the addition of that other parcel. Yeah, I saw it, what was that all about? It makes sense.
Yes, it does.
We're gonna get more cards to play.
Yeah,
I would move approval of resolution 2024-05, Chris, 3 boundary extensions for all the ones that cover sport hotels, Lexington.
Second.
okay. John has moved and Joe second to approve resolution 2024-05. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimous. Okay. I got you. Okay, you might have to explain that. Okay, so next is IGA with the town of Lexington. It's not a city, it's not considered a city, huh?
No.
Okay,
You're right, you're absolutely right, and I know that.
okay,
Sorry, my bad.
town of Lexington.
Okay, so in your new business tab, you have the IGAs. The one that's handwritten here, down on the bottom of the page, is the first one. And this is just to let you know that we approved this IGA. It was signed, with Rick as president, July 15 of 2021. So Aaron, if you're still on the phone, we will send this over to you. And I'm assuming that the county commission signed it as well, but we'll find out. I know our file has our signed copy in it.
Yeah, I like to review it last couple of days just to make sure. It's good, puts everything in order.
Okay, so Aaron, we'll send this one over to you to approve. And the next one is Lexington. And we will change city to town online.
Okay. Do you have any questions on the IGA with the Lexington?
So just for clarification, all of our IGAs with the other entities are all the same.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I have a motion, to make that one for the IDA. Okay, John Boo,
I'll second them.
okay. John Boo, Rick, second to approve the IDA with Town of Lexington. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimous. So the, next is an IGA with Eric. We've got that covered, like we just said. We don't need to.
We've approved it,
Okay,
and Morrow County's approved it.
Yeah.
Everybody's one that needs to.
I did hear a reply back. Yeah, I did hear a reply back from Aaron, but, we'll get that taken care of. All right, great, thank you, Aaron.
Mr. Chair,
See you.
Yes,
I need to click off.
okay. Okay, Commissioner Sotto needs to leave. For other business, thank you, Rick. Next on any other new business we need to bring up? The one thing I do have is, we're gonna do a review, a CEO review next month. And I'll have this. We're in front of you. So, to do that, what questions on that?
Is it,
Do we bring it to the meeting?
Well, what we've done in the past is each one of us filled out and bring it back. And the last year, I just kind of aggregated everybody's responses. We can do it any way we want.
Okay, so then
We'll do that in executive session.
Exactly, so
Yeah,
without staff or?
without that, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But we don't have to do it that way. We could just write our own written assessment to her, and that's just, we, something there's like.
That's a good way to do it.
Okay.
You just described.
Yeah. You know,
I think it's good that you improve COLA.
yeah. That
So
way,
you want
we
that,
got
you want
time, we
that
got
before the
time.
meeting, obviously.
Yeah, we got time to look at it and take care of it, on, at home.
Okay.
Bring it to the meeting and we'll go through it.
June?
June, yes. Any questions on that, Lisa? Straightforward.
No, I'm just thinking about time and.
Yeah,
We could get it done before. I'm going to be gone the first part of June, so I'll be gone for the 2 weeks prior. And I've got to get all of the rest of the reviews done and ready to go by July 1. So we've got a lot of work that follows.
Would you rather have it before you left? Or we,
I guess if you would rather do a special meeting toward the end of this month. Up to you.
yeah, that's what it would take, would be a special. You got any?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay having a special meeting to get it done and, because I know you're gonna be coming back. Busy.
Okay.
When you get back to. What kind of calendar? we looking at? And
It takes a while to get 150 reviews done by everyone, so it all goes downhill.
Well. We're only concerned with one.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. It is.
Let's see, this is May. The last. See, Kelly, I have this CDA popped up on the 28th of May.
All right. I'm going to do it.
That's at 1 o'clock. Any time that week would work for me.
The 27th through the 12th.
Yeah, 31st.
27th is a holiday.
All right.
Right, it is, yeah. And you're leaving what day?
Around June 4th.
Okay,
I got pharmacists out on the 20th, no. Thursday, the 30th, I canceled. I think that's just the day, that's the only day that I cannot do.
so how about the 31st?
Pardon?
That works for me. That works for you, Joel?
I think that was good for me, yes.
Okay, Lisa,
Yes,
you okay with it? Okay.
What time?
What time?
Would first thing in the morning be okay? 7 maybe? 7:30?
Lisa, we have a conflict with the meeting at 8:30.
That's kind of kidding, but
I'm letting you know, just so you know.
what time would work?
we have an 8:30 and 9:30.
Yeah. 10, or, I mean, 11?
11?
Yes, unless you want to pull it back and do it on the morning of the 28th.
Wednesday?
John didn't say you could do it for me?
I can't do the,
You can do the 30.
I work, yeah, right, Wednesday. I would prefer to do it the 30, Friday, of that week, 31st,
10 o'clock,
or 11, whatever, we don't want to cramp you in the meeting.
11,
Let's go 11.
okay.
That work for you, Kelly?
Mhm.
Joel?
First half,
That'll work.
Okay.
Should.
thank you.
And just so I'm clear, just an executive session on that day?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Any other old business or new business, excuse me, new business that we need to discuss? Okay, and we've got budget at 3:30?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have an executive session that we need to?
Not unless there's something in particular that you have a question about that falls within.
Okay, I don't, it's not myself. Anybody else?
I'm a,
Okay.
Mark, okay?
We're good to go through the rest of it.
As long as you're going.
Yep.
and Kelly, no executive session today, or?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, we're good to go through the rest of our agenda then. We'll move on to staff reports, project update.
Okay, we'll start with DEQ compliance. I'll start with the good news first. Farm plat expansion is moving quite along well. We got the long lead items out this week. We should have a complete package to DEQ around 17th of May. And our goal is to have this up and running around September of this year, so we get a crop in the ground and actually use this expansion area this winter. So, but if we also got to get 7 pivots in the ground between now and then too. So it's a big lift, but I think we can get there far enough ahead where we should be able to make this happen. So that's going pretty good. The lagoons are also out to bid. Both lagoons are out on Farm 3. We're getting a lot of interest in them. It's a big earth move. Not a whole lot of other infrastructure, so there is some electrical, that could be big. We feel that one's gonna go pretty smooth. The completion date on that is for September 2025, is what we've got. Right now, we don't see any issues with that one moving forward. The tough one is secondary treatment, so we had it out to bid, we were supposed to open bids on the 9th. Okay, last week, I was getting really nervous because we were only getting questions from one contractor, and we had 4 GCs show up to the pre-bid meeting. And all the questions that were given from the other contractor was, there's no way we can make this schedule. So we didn't know if it was just him with a lot of concerns, this one contractor. So we reached out to the other 4, and they're not bidding it because the schedule is too tight, there's no way they can get it. And they don't want to pay the liquidated damages because once a contractor does that, opens and starts paying liquidated damages, they don't pay the project in time, it'll hurt them getting the project in the future. It's a big struggle. So we've stepped back now, we've met with DEQ, told them our issues, they understand. So what we've done now is we've sent them out, telling the contractors to give us their best schedule, complete the project, no matter what that is. Hopefully, we can still get through the winter, this next winter, but winter 2025, and be able to store in the lagoons and still have the secondary treatment done by July of 2026. So that we don't have too much agronomic loading for that current season, because that's what it's going to come down to. Whether we can get there or not, sure. But that's what we're gonna push for now. And DEQ was considerable of that, they thought that's a good approach. We told them at the start of this back a year and a half ago that this schedule was not to work. Now that we got contractor feedback, they do understand. I mean, if the one contract said if they work 24/7 with crews, with 3 different crews, it's still ready. I mean, it is big. It's a very complicated project. There's over 3,500 pages in the plan set for this thing.
So do you have a schedule of individual tasks throughout this total project?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and that's what you're talking about, you talked to DEQ about.
Yeah, it's
particular
and
aspect.
the big ones here are big electrical here. The generator. So our approach is going to be to get part of this up and running. So we have 4 oxidation ditches and 4 flare. So our plan approach is to get 1 oxidation ditch online and get this moving on a phased approach. So maybe we can treat part of the water and get some of that our economic rate down moving forward. When we have a plan to do it, it's just that there's no way we're going to be 100% complete by July 1st. 2025. Not going to. But we won't have any bidders. They didn't care how much money they threw at it. There's no way it was going to happen.
And DEQ heard that, but they didn't necessarily offer to extend that deadline, correct?
No, not yet. We have not made a formal request. We would have to look at a permit to do that. Not saying that we would not do that.
Right now, with the phased-in approach, we can at least get part of it going. by
Yeah,
that deadline.
part of it going, but we may ask over the permit.
It's important.
So the rest of the stuff's going pretty good. The farm 5 expansion is going to help us a lot this winter. So. Let's stay on for the, yeah, let's do the maintenance so we can get it over.
Okay, yeah.
Airport,
On to Tim's report, keep on there for maintenance.
We have some pictures or? All right. Well, the crews are staying busy. We've been working a lot of 510s over the past couple of months to keep a lot of stuff going. So guys have been real busy. The Sage, that's mainly done by contractors, but we do have one crew in there doing all the underground work for the bioswales and sidewalk work. So most of the dirt work we're still doing, but the main construction is being done by contractors.
And on the schedule on that, guys, we're going to start windows and doors next week on that. So we'll be driving in, sheet rock will start on the 20th. So we're trying to get a completion date around mid-August, pushing on Bill. He wants September, but it'd be nice to do mid-August.
Sorry, so not bad.
What's that? You think it's September?
Yeah.
October. She doesn't have any employees. She's looking for stalls. Yeah.
The build,
Road.
most of
Go
it's
ahead.
done. We still got some curbing to put in or and some fencing, but we're getting pretty close to being done with that completely.
We drive up.
We got closed right now.
Oh.
We got some guardrail right at the top, needs to be completed. Now, the right here, that asphalt and Dixie Union comes back, that's for the new scale. And that should be completed in June. So, and then we're also reviewing the crane bids right now. For the T1 crane. And we're hoping to make a decision on that next week or two. Structure, there's a wide range of costs. I mean, the lowest bid we got was, and these are all different cranes. They range from anywhere from 1.25 million to 2.6
Needless to say, the bids for these different types of cranes still satisfy the.
They still satisfy it, but it would be nice to have a newer one. It's just justifying it in the budget.
Okay, because we're over budget because of delays.
Yes, we're over budget because of rail.
Correct. I remember
Yeah.
our approval from the rail was delayed because it changed hands so many times. Does the crane selection, as long as we make a crane selection that satisfies our needs as well. I know it's a balancing act between budget and needs, but.
Yeah, it is. And warranty. You know, one of the used ones doesn't have a warranty, the best option doesn't have a warranty on it. And we're trying to negotiate with them.
And we did have a visit from Marriott yesterday. There are lots of opportunities for funding. We go back and get more money.
That's good.
They can pay for things like grants.
Yeah, it's our over.
Yep.
That's the new scale house. Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
That's not, the new scale house. The scale is going to be here later this week. So hopefully in June, we'll be able to commission that and get it into use.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's the airport project. We're not Tappaney's out there doing that right now. We will have a crew out there installing all the light poles, probably within a month to 6 weeks. Start on that.
We're hoping probably around July. It's the water projects are also moving forward out there. That's the pipeline is going out to bid towards the end of the week for servicing the EX2 site. And then our distribution center will go out towards the end of the month for bid. Lot going on. Who ever thought of
Ione football field, we got back over there last week. We got rained out over the weekend, but we're back over there today. Dirt work should be finished this week. And if everything goes as planned, we'll get the gravel laid down next week and we should be done over there next week. If worst case scenario, maybe trickle over into the following week, but we're just about done over there with all our scope of work.
Yeah, it's gonna be maybe quite a facility.
Okay, that's all I have. Let me ask you a
All right.
question. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim. Okay. Anything else on maintenance or projects, Mark? Next, okay. Financial update. You got
Okay.
for us, Eileen.
So, our tax sheet is the front page. We are maintaining our unrestricted fairly well. We're hoping that our financing gets in place before that goes. As far as our budget actual, we'll go over that. Not this one per se, when we do the budget committee. I just have to say, doing a report on the 7th of the month is pretty impossible. But, we're still doing fine, under budget. And that's why it goes crazy for the next 2 months.
750. I wish I was going crazy with the secondary treatment.
Yeah, well, that one would have been fine.
Yeah, there's room in the budget this year.
Yeah, that all looks good. Okay, any other questions for Eileen on that? Okay.
Driller. 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That's good.
so that's it, usage reports, that's in here. To anything on it.
There is not, we are maintaining at about 95% of last year. Our water.
I had a question on, Sage Center. What was Jurassic something or other?
Jurassic Flats.
Yeah, what is that?
Expo, that was a fly fishing cart expo that came in, cart fishing in shallow flat waters is a very prestigious type of fishing, in fly fishing. It's all over the world, they've now found that Boardman, Oregon hosts some of the best, shallow flat waters for carp fishing, so they are coming here and they brought a whole team in, they had some pro fishermen came in, and they gave, tours and explanations of it, and they had all the presentations, and they're looking to come back every year and continue to grow this expo. It's one of the best expos of years. It's a partnership with North 40 out of Idaho, and they are hosting those around there. They loved another place that is down in Salt Lake in the Salt Flats. So you'll see a video, they put together a video and stuff about the fishing.
Did they catch permit? Good.
Yes, they did, they had a great, they had fun.
With their sounds, right? Real waters, so there's wildlife there. Yeah, there is.
Well, I'm not seeing the bird.
Couldn't find any fishermen in the area.
They invited anybody to come down and do the presentations, and then they went out on the river and took community partners, anybody that wanted to go and see it, they took them out on a boat and showed them how and gave them the tools and everything.
Wow.
We had about 90-some people, I think, attended.
Wow. Jurassic Flats. It's like
Jurassic Flat,
the name of the company or something?
it's the name of the tour, yeah.
Okay.
We had to explain that a lot, because people are like, what is this? It's like, yeah. I can't help people with their marketing.
Well, I think I was looking at your report and, you know, there's 89 people. on that day, like, oh, that's a lot, whatever that is.
It was pretty cool. So it's gonna be something they're gonna continue each year, and they want to start hosting tournaments here as well.
So is that what the locals go out at night with their boats?
That's boat fishing.
That's
Are
boat
they
fishing.
shooting carp? Are they carp?
Yeah. Shooting carp with a bow.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
Okay,
Fly fishing.
yeah.
Yeah, fly fishing.
Oh, this would be way.
I agree.
Okay.
I can stand up on the boat.
It has made our part busy.
Yes,
Good.
It's added another, there's a whole new realm of type of fishing.
It can be used 24/7.
It is used quite often.
And there's no season. Fish all the time.
There's like a lot of cars.
There's a lot of carp out.
Oh, it's fire.
Okay, any other questions on the usage report? Okay. Moving on to, other reports, so Willow Creek Valley,
Yeah, we know the exception would not be available. So.
okay,
I don't know if Madison be doing that.
is that,
Madison, where's that?
Okay.
That chamber.
Yes.
At the chamber, yeah.
Madison, do you have anything to add for Willow Creek? No, they're not totally be listening right now. Okay, how about BCDA? What do you got there?
We continue the homebuyers incentive, those just keep coming in, probably 1 or 2 a week, it's pretty consistent again, homes seem to be moving, our developers have kind of done some changes to their style of how they're selling their homes and marketing and trying to lower their costs as much as they can, they're doing some a la carte work. So that's making it appealing, the interest rates dropped a little bit, which is making it, I think we're back down to more standard rates, I would say. Back in the day when we had the 1, 2, 3% rate, it was just unheard of rates, and so I think we're back down to more of a standard. I think it's gone up again a little bit, but for most part, everybody is coming new to our community according to the survey that we're getting. We were seeing a lot of people moving within the community, but a lot of people are now transitioning from an apartment into a house who have only lived here about a year and a half, so they're actually new residents. And we see them as new residents, they're not residents who've been here for 10, 15 years, so. We are seeing some new people, so we continue to support that program. I continue to support developers that are coming in. There's a new, Unity Home Park, working with him on selling, getting his, homes marketed and leased. That's out on Cookie Lane. There's a couple other developments that are coming about, and we're sharing those with our industry partners and helping our industry partners just know what's out there, so they can use that for a recruitment tool to recruit employees, because everybody says there's no housing here in Portland available. There are, you just have to kind of know where they're at, so we're working with that. We're working on doing the sidewalk in front of San Morgan Elementary that went out for bid, and the bowling construction was awarded the bid at $185,000. That's just going to have safe routes for kids. And the Safe Center play structure expansion is happening with partnership with Fremont Canyon Farms and some other businesses. And that is going to replace and modernize the play structure up there and meet ADA requirements. And we're going to expand it because the number of kids that we're having utilizing our facility is growing rapidly every single day. Especially with the EV charging stations, we've seen a drastic increase in the use of our facility, or mainly our play structure. So it's gonna have a lot more diversity in it, so that's a project, and then the board is also looking at other projects, just have not finalized those projects, what they're gonna look like for. Part of that is the retail incubator project, we finally were funded the congressional dollars of the 1.5 million. And that's with the partnership with the board, and so we have a lot of work ahead of us. They kind of gave us some short term around deadlines on that, because it took them forever to pass their budget, which put a lot of restraint on us, and we're doing some pushback right now, which is they asked if we could have conceptual designs to them by the end of next week, and we've only known about having the money for 2 weeks. And we're like, not possible. So,
Where's that project at, Terrence?
that one's gonna be down on Northeast Front Street, just down from the splash pad. Just between the old BMCC, there was a section there that BCBA bought that property and looking to expand and make new business opportunities for local businesses and try to recruit. To meet the amenity needs, everybody just said we need more houses. Well, no one wants to move here to Oregon because we don't have amenities, and it's a figure that one out as we go. It's a balancing act.
Okay, thank you, Tori.
Yep.
Anything from Michael?
Meeting's tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, that's wow.
The search system runs on it.
okay.
So a bit, right. Really good.
Okay, any other reports that we need to discuss? We didn't cover? Okay, hearing none, put the good in the order. Name, Lisa,
Well, I need to bring this up, but June 18th, did we move that to the 19th or 20th?
The 19th is a holiday.
I know,
Oh, sorry.
June 20th is, the bank rates, they changed there, because of June 19th, they changed it to the Tuesday, so. No, it's a big day, so, or another, but it's the final budget hearing, isn't it? So,
Well, it's good that you bring it up now instead of right before, so.
what other days are you available?
well, the 20th, I guess, would be the Thursday. Or available earlier too.
I'm fine with it.
You're
June's
fine.
fine. June 20th is fine. That's fine for me.
Okay, I'll just need to get a review from.
So I can do the 20th, I'll contact Rick to see what he's got on here. Is Juneteenth at the, is that all new people take off?
I don't know.
It's a new national, or it's a new federally
Federal
recognized holiday. So we added it last year, 2 years ago.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And how would you feel about morning meeting that day? the 20th.
So. That's fine.
We've got that 3 o'clock, 3:30 and 3:30.
Thursdays.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
All right.
The budget committee would have to be asked to take my 10 too, I guess.
No,
Or not,
no,
It should be done.
just so.
yeah, budget hearing, they're not required to attend.
Okay,
Oh,
that's just comments on approval.
We don't have to go to the budget hearing,
Yeah.
so just that.
You do, the budget.
Okay.
The budget hearings during our regular commission meeting.
Mondays and Thursdays, but I staff apart, so I'll stop at my two. Okay.
Okay, well, it sounds like the 20th is okay.
Okay, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Perfect. So give everyone enough time.
Just Brandy, make sure we got some reminders, a couple of products.
I'm gonna send everybody a calendar to bring this.
And I'll check the bridges. Okay, anything else, for the good of the order? Okay, you can see, we're almost out of time here, but you can see our upcoming events. Budget today, summer conference, anybody going to summer conference?
That's I'd be interested in going.
Okay. The first then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
I think there's a boat ride involved,
That sounds cool.
like the first day or
The
something.
Hell's Canyon?
Yeah.
The hell's going
You can hop on.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else that you might need?
No.
Okay, like it's 3:21, I'll adjourn our meeting.